getting rid of big magazines? Hell, that makes sense. But I ask you to do something one of the great peace activists of the last century asked us to do. Imagine. Why not no guns at all? People say it's impossible, and sure, it would take time and it would take effort. But why is it out of the question to rid our country of guns completely? You know, they once said the same thing about ridding our country of slavery. Not possible, they said. Out of the question, they said. You know, they even said slavery was supported by the Constitution. Imagine. What would we lose if there were no guns? No hunting? No target shooting? I think we'd survive. If getting rid of all guns would prevent just a few of the 15,000 gun-related deaths we now suffer from each year, or just a few of the 22,000 suicides by gun, would that be enough to get rid of them? How about if a total gun ban saved just a single life? Would that be enough? If you say no, does that mean you would be willing to kill a child to keep your gun? Imagine there's no guns now. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die with. And no NRA too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I hope I'm not the only one. Thank you.
He was so good. He's up. Oh yeah, that was great.
Hi. My name is Casper Wilder. I'm 16 years old. I'm a junior at Portland High School. So, my voice is a little raw from chanting, so forgive me if my voice breaks, but I wrote a speech, but before I read it, I want to give a shout out to the parents of a boy in Michigan. This boy had been bullied within an inch of his life. He was ready to snap. He made a plan to shoot up the school, and he wanted to be stopped. He went to his parents and said, "Get me help. Get me help. Stop me from doing this." They took him to the police station in hopes that he would get treatment, mental health treatment, and instead they want to try him as an adult. I want to give a shout out to those parents and to that scared boy and say that criminalizing crisis is not the answer. Okay, now the speech. We gather today for Portland's March for Our Lives. I know already that it will be torn apart, the pieces used as weapons by all sides. I give this speech not to convince or to justify, but merely to explain. I am firmly against the politicization of schools. By bringing politics into the classroom, he set forth the idea that there are a few pathways of thinking: conservative, liberal, and no more. You are closing minds, not opening them. Yet politics has forced its way into our schools in the barrel of a gun. Schools became political the day students' lives became a political issue. I didn't think I had the right to speak up. I didn't want to assail the beliefs of fellow citizens who were only fighting for what they believed was right. Leslie Gibson assuaged my fears when he called Emma Gonzalez a skinhead lesbian and a bald-faced liar. Calling a high school-age survivor of horrific violence such names is not the act of a concerned citizen. No one does that because they think it's right. The day after the Parkland shooting, in our classes, we talked about what we would do if a shooter attacked. We walked through the horror, step by step, as we've done so many times before. But something was different this time. We were no longer rehearsing a tragedy we didn't fully understand. When we crowded into the dark closets, holding our breath like cattle in the back of a truck, I realized that if I died this way, I would die without having done anything to stop it. In that hot, packed closet, slick with the smell of fear, I could feel something stirring in us. Not anger, deeper than that, a will to live. I believe in the Constitution. The Constitution guarantees us the right to liberty, but it also guarantees us the right to life. I remember learning about Patrick Henry's fiery words, "Give me liberty or give me death." I believe that every person has the right to lay down their life for what they believe, but not a single person has the right to lay down the lives of others. The Geneva Conventions state that the use of child soldiers is a war crime because it forces soldiers to shoot children in self-defense. For every child we save from mental crisis, for every child we keep away from violent means, there is an adult who does not have to kill that child. I welcome debate on the means, but the nature of the debate must change. The question can no longer be, should we do something? The question must be, what can we do? To many, in their homes and offices and halls of lawmaking, this may be politics as usual. I say this to impress upon those people that to us, it's not politics at all. Our lives are not meant to be political. Our safety is not meant to offend. Our feelings go deeper than values. They are merely the will to not go gentle. For we will not allow any more to die. We will not go gentle into that good night. We will rage against the dying of the light.
So good.
Hi, I'm Mariah Fitzpatrick. I'm 16, and I'm a student at Freeport High School. This is a poem I wrote. It's called "Small Towns Aren't Safe." Her hands on the steering wheel shake just a bit as she watches her son grab his bag where it's fit by the seat. And the radio's mumbling under its breath about hallways and lockdown and untimely death until she switches the channel. And his hair is so dear as it curls round his ears, and she says that she loves him, but he doesn't hear, and her heart is beating with such unwanted fear. Grow up! That couldn't happen round here. The town is so little, the guidelines so clear. Deep breaths.
These kids.
Shake the pictures of blood from your mind. But what if I pick up the cell phone to find that my baby boy, calm down. It'll just take some time to process the news, and then it'll be fine. There have been no serious crimes here since '89. So she pulls back her hair and pulls into the street. She's got places to go while this car overheats with visions of Michael with blood by his feet. Just stop it, okay? Stop making things up. But what if the sounds come and interrupt his studies? The running and screaming, firecrackers without color. Enough! Don't waste your day with another thought spiral. Just pray that this story will stop being viral soon enough. And the radio is speaking in less somber tones. And she's back in her car and about to go home. And she reaches into her bag and pulls out her phone. Because it's ringing. Thank you.
Yeah.